He stares with bulging eyes, wild beard bristling like spears. In one hand, a mighty sword. In the other, a scroll containing the names of demons doomed for capture. On his back, a sack of writhing spirits. His robes are imperial red, yet his face is the color of death. This is Zhong Kui, fearsome deity, ghost slayer, and judge of the netherworld. But Zhong Kui is more than an image. In Chinese ritual practice, he appears, he descends, he possesses. In village festivals and funerals, in Taoist rites and temple exorcisms, Zhong Kui is invoked to rid the world of spiritual filth. His presence is not metaphorical. He is conjured into the world through the medium, a living body temporarily transformed into the divine vehicle of justice. On the third episode of the Afterlife series, we explore the myth of Zhong Kui and its ritual instantiation. We will trace his legend from Tang Dynasty folklore into the visual and performative traditions of imperial and local China. We will examine the role of the medium, Jitong, the trance-possessed human who channels Zhong Kui's power. And we will unpack the deeper logic of what it means for a society to call upon a spirit to judge other spirits, to fight ghosts with ghosts. This is the story of a mask that becomes a face, of a myth that becomes a body, and of a god who walks among mortals to keep the dead in check. Zhong Kui's origins lie in legend. And like many legends, the story is as morally instructive as it is dramatic. According to the most widespread version, dating back to the Tang Dynasty, 618–907 CE, Zhong Kui was a brilliant scholar who scored first place in the imperial examinations. However, because of his grotesque appearance, he was described as having a fierce face, bulging eyes, and a fearsome demeanor. The emperor refused to give him his rightful honors. In despair and humiliation, Zhong Kui threw himself against the palace gates and committed suicide. The emperor, guilt-ridden, buried him with honor. That night, he dreamed of Zhong Kui, now dressed in robes of authority, declaring that he would use his powers in death to rid the world of demons and protect the empire. Thus was born the demon Queller. This tale is deeply rooted in Tang values, the importance of merit over appearance, the dangers of cosmic imbalance, and the idea that the wrongly treated dead can become powerful protectors, if appeased. Zhong Kui's suicide made him a Yuan Gui, a wronged ghost. But his transformation into a deity shows the power of rehabilitation through ritual honor. By the Song Dynasty, Zhong Kui had become a household name. His portrait was painted and hung over doors during the Lunar New Year to ward off evil spirits. Paintings often depicted him with wild fury, sometimes surrounded by a retinue of lesser demons he had captured and enslaved. In some, he is shown inspecting demonic prisoners like a magistrate holding court. But while his image was protective, his spirit was performative. And it is here that we turn from myth to ritual. In Chinese ritual culture, Zhong Kui is not merely represented, he is embodied. Through carefully orchestrated ceremonies, mediums and ritual specialists don his persona, summoning his presence to banish ghosts and demons who have trespassed into the world of the living. In many regions of China, especially in southern provinces such as Fujian, Guangdong, and Taiwan, Zhong Kui appears in Taoist exorcistic rituals, Nuo theater, and spirit medium temples. The common thread across these variants is the ritual mask or costume, the transformation of the human actor into the divine judge. In Nuo rituals, a folk exorcistic performance tradition with roots tracing back to the Zhou dynasty, Zhong Kui is a central figure. He appears during New Year ceremonies, funerals, or instances of plague and spiritual disturbance. A performer, often a male priest or specially trained actor, dons a fearsome red mask with exaggerated features and a thick black beard. Wielding a sword or talisman, he chases away evil spirits in a ritualized dance, accompanied by drums and gongs. The mask here is not decoration, it is transformation. In traditional Chinese ritual logic, the mask does not represent Zhong Kui, it becomes him. To wear the mask with the correct incantations, postures, and invocations is to invoke the presence of the deity fully. The performer becomes a living vessel of the god's power. In local temple practices, especially in southern China and Taiwan, Jitong or spirit mediums undergo trance possession by Zhong Kui. These individuals, often trained from youth, enter altered states through chanting, incense, and invocation. When possessed, the medium may exhibit dramatic behavior, speaking in a harsh voice, brandishing weapons, scolding invisible demons, or writing talismans in spirit script. Some mediums perform feats of spirit endurance, walking on coals, piercing their skin, or drinking blood, to demonstrate that another force now occupies their body. Zhong Kui, having descended, is now among the people, judging, cleansing, commanding. Why summon Zhong Kui? What exactly does he do? In traditional belief, spiritual disorder manifested in many forms: unexplained illness, madness, crop failure, nightmares, or even social unrest. Often these were attributed to Gi, ghosts who had not received proper funerals, or demons who had escaped the underworld. Zhong Kui's role was to act as a celestial enforcer, capturing wayward spirits, interrogating them, and returning them to their rightful place. In this, he functioned as a magistrate of the afterlife, a judge who upheld not only cosmic law, but moral order. Ritually, his appearance was a cleansing. When summoned during funerals, his presence ensured that the soul of the deceased was protected from malevolent ghosts. In cases of hauntings or possession, he was called upon to confront the offending spirit directly, to expel, punish, or convert it. In some traditions, he would even conduct a spiritual census, inspecting the area and recording the names of ghosts to be exorcised. This reflects the deep bureaucratic logic of the Chinese afterlife, as discussed in our previous episode. Zhong Kui, like an imperial inspector, cleansed jurisdictions of spiritual corruption. His sword symbolized not simply violence, but authority, the power to enforce moral boundaries. His scroll contained names, destinies, and judgments. His mask, terrifying though it was, reflected the seriousness of justice. The medium who channels Zhong Kui occupies a unique and perilous position. In Taoist cosmology, to allow a deity into one's body is a sacred trust, but also a dangerous crossing. Mediums often undergo years of training, including ritual discipline, physical fasting, and moral purification. Their bodies must become suitable vessels. During possession, they may have little or no memory of their actions. The voice that issues from their mouth is not their own. In some accounts, Zhong Kui speaks through the medium to deliver verdicts on community matters, identifying the cause of illness, locating spiritually polluted areas, or naming the spirit responsible for disorder. The medium thus becomes an oracle judge, a conduit for divine justice. But this contact comes at a cost. The medium's body is strained. After rituals, they may collapse from exhaustion. Some suffer long-term effects, understood as the residual presence of divine energy. These risks underscore the seriousness of Zhong Kui's role. He is not a quaint folk figure. He is judicial fire, channeled through fragile flesh. Beyond ritual performance, Zhong Kui's image has become one of the most widely recognized in Chinese visual culture. Painted on doors, carved into amulets, embroidered into burial robes. During the Ming and Qing dynasties, merchant families, officials, and commoners alike commissioned portraits of Zhong Kui to protect homes and businesses. These paintings often followed a standard iconography: wild, staring eyes to spot hidden demons, sword or halberd to cut through deceit and evil, scroll or register to track the names of spirits, echoing bureaucratic motifs, demonic retinue subdued spirits now serving under his command, depicted with grotesque but comical features. In elite circles, renowned painters like Wu Wei and Ren Yi produced striking images of Zhong Kui. These works were not only spiritual tools, but expressions of cultural refinement, showcasing how even the most frightening figures could be rendered with aesthetic dignity. But the most potent form of his image was always the ritual mask, worn, inhabited, and animated by living breath. The idea of summoning a ghost to fight other ghosts may seem paradoxical, but in Chinese metaphysics it reflects a profound principle, like controls like. Just as in medicine one treats poison with poison, In the spiritual realm, only a being who has crossed the boundary of death and returned can truly master the dead. Zhong Kui, having been wronged in life and transformed in death, embodies this liminality. He is neither fully ghost nor fully God. He is the bridge, the enforcer, the intercessor. His authority is not granted from above, but earned through suffering. He is a deity of the people, invoked not for lofty spiritual salvation, but for immediate, tangible protection. That he must possess a human body to act reminds us of another key idea, that the boundary between life and death, gods and mortals, is not fixed. It is negotiated through ritual, performance, and belief. In this sense, Zhong Kui is not just a demon queller. He is a ritual technology, a cultural mechanism for managing the chaos of death. When Zhong Kui descends, the world holds its breath. The medium trembles, the gongs crash, the demons scatter. In that moment, myth becomes flesh, justice becomes spectacle, and belief becomes law. Zhong Kui lives, not in temples alone, but through the bodies of those brave enough to channel him. He is the judge who wears a mask, who keeps the dead in place so the living may breathe in peace. In our next and final tale of the series, What Ghosts Eat, Why Ritual Offerings Matter, we will turn our gaze to the hungry dead. We will explore the profound logic behind food offerings, incense, and ritual meals, not simply signs of respect, but acts of spiritual nourishment that feed the very structure of the afterlife. But for now, Zhong Kui has finished his rounds. The scroll is sealed, the sword is sheathed, the mask is laid to rest. The dead are silent once more.